Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA car kits in a 2016 Mercedes AMG GT, and today we're going to be installing our Apple CarPlay and Android Auto kit. This is our version 2 of the Mercedes kit, so it's quite simple to install. There's no extra microphones to install in this particular car, and it also works wirelessly with our iPhone or Android device. As you can see, it's already installed in this car, and you can control it with the original controls. You can easily switch back to the original Mercedes system by pressing and holding the back button. If you put your car into reverse, this image will disappear and you will see your original camera. So you will not lose any functionality, you will just get something you didn't have before, and this is Apple CarPlay interface or Android Auto. And now we're going to show you how to install it in this particular car. So the tools that you're going to need is a T20 Torx, our panel removal tool, and our hook tool. First we're going to start with these two tools, and over here we're going to remove this little cover. So you're going to use your hook tool on the corner here to lift up the panel, and then you can get underneath here to unclip it. So there's 3 clips that hold it in. So next we're going to open our armrest, and here we're going to remove this panel because behind it there's 2 bolts that we need to remove. So we're going to use again our hook tool. You would get underneath this panel and remove it. So first we start from a corner here, and then once you lift it up, then we lift up from the front of this panel. When we're going to be putting it back, this edge will go in first, and then you're going to clip it in. Now we're going to use our T20, and we're going to remove these 2 bolts. At this point we will use our panel removal tool to get underneath the center console, and then once it's out a little bit, you're going to use your fingers. You're going to lift it up like that, then you're going to grab it on the sides, and then you're going to pull it towards the back of the car, because there's these 2 clips right here that slide out towards the back. And then here you're going to see there is one connection which you have to undo or unclip. That's how it looks like. We just pressed on the top of the clip here and we removed it. That's for the HVAC controls. Once you do that, you're going to be able to lift up the whole panel, and here there's a lot of slack for the wire, but still, if you want to completely get it out of your way, you can disconnect each of one of these connections and remove the panel and then reconnect it back. But we're just going to put it to the side because we need access to the head unit right here. Now we will use our T20 Torx, and there's 2 bolts. So there's one right here on the right, there's one right there on the left, and we're going to go ahead and loosen them. Once you loosen these 2 bolts, you're going to be able to release the locks that hold the head unit in place. So as you can see, I'm not going to undo these bolts all the way, probably halfway, so they still stay in the actual lock. Here you go. And at this point you can grab the head unit and pull it towards yourself, and you're able to get to the back of all the connections. We will be connecting our kit first to this main quad lock harness, so you will disconnect the original one. There's a clip here which you have to press, and you will release the lock and it will unclip. And second is the video cable signal. So it will come through this connection right here, and if you're looking all the way from the back, it will actually say display at the back of it. So there's a clip here which I'm pressing. Once you press the clip, you can use the panel removal tool and gently remove this connection. Here you go. So this is the wire that goes to the back of the display, and instead we will plug in our wire. So we'll show you what comes in our kit. So first you have the main module, then we have our main harness. So we will plug in this harness into the original quad locks. We also have a wire for sound which we'll plug in the armrest. This is our video cable wire. We have our USB wired connection that will wire to the armrest, and this is our antenna for wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So we will start with our harness, and it has these 2 white ends on the end of it, And then also we're gonna start with our video cable. So there's an end with a single connection, and then this other end that has the dual male and female. So we're starting with them because we're gonna feed them underneath this plastic piece right here. Our main goal is to have one end of all these wires at the back of the head unit, and the other ends are right here below the center console in order for us to connect to the module. So we will first feed the wires through. So we have our video wires right here. And that's enough length for the wire in order to connect at the back of the head unit. And then we will do our main harness. Same thing, as you can see, there's space right here, so you can feed these wires through. Here you go. Now we have this wire here, and we will pull it even further, and then we will feed it underneath here. And right here. So we end up with total 3 wires, so small and big white connections and our single video cable. This is our original harness, which we showed you how to disconnect in the beginning. Over here you're gonna see it has this orange wire. Sometimes it's also green. This is a wire for fiber optic for audio, and we have to transfer this cable to the back of our harness in order to have sound once you connect everything. So not all of these cars are gonna have this particular 2 wires, but most of them will. So you just undo this clip right here and you're able to easily remove it. So we will take this end of the original harness and plug it in to the female end of our harness. So with it inserted and open, you have to get it almost all the way in, and only then you lock it. Now we will take the male end of our harness. First we will transfer over this fiber optic cable. It goes on the outer edge. You will unlock this lock. Again, all the way in, and only then you lock it in place. Now we will do the video cables. So these are from our kit. So the male one you will plug in instead of the original one, and then the original one will go into the female end of our cable. Here you go. And at this point all the connections at the back of the stereo are done, so you can neatly put all the wires through, and then you will make sure they're not in the way, and you will slide the head unit back. Also, the squad lock suggests to maneuver either to the left or to the right in the back there, so there's enough space for the head unit to go back in. Here you go. So now we'll start doing some connections to the module. First we will connect the harnesses, and next is the video cable, and our module will rest around here, but we still have to do a few connections to it. We can take the antenna right now for the wireless connections and we can plug it in, and it's fine to leave it around the module here somewhere. You don't have to. There's a double-sided tape on the back of it, but we don't think you should tape it anywhere in this particular car. If you just rest it like that, it will be fine. Next is the auxiliary wire. So one end of this auxiliary wire we will connect here to the auxiliary female, and then this end will have to go to the armrest area along with this USB cable. So this USB cable you can also plug in to the module right now. In order to feed the wires into this compartment here, we will grab this side piece of the dashboard and we will just pull it towards ourselves. That way we have enough room. And same on this side. It just clips, so you can unclip it up to the middle of the car. Now we will use our finger, and I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm pressing on the clip on the side of this unit. That way we can remove this box. So I was pressing on these two clips. Once you have it removed, it will give you enough space to feed your wires, and there's few ways to feed the wires here. So there's few spots to make holes. You can either make a hole to the side right here, to the driver's side. You can make it below the actual USBs, or you can make the hole right here, because this unit opens up. You can press on the clip on both sides, it will open up, and there's empty space here, so you can drill through here, drill through over here, and you can have the cables coming out nicely here. So first we'll feed the cables through. And this is our USB. So we will leave them like that for now. We will drill our holes later. You will also take your USB to auxiliary adapter. This is in order to feed sound to the system. You will plug in the auxiliary, and then you will plug in the USB, either 1 or 2, and that will tell you which one to select in your original Mercedes system. So this is media interface 1, media interface 2, and we can put it to the side. So everything is connected to our module. The last thing before testing it, you will make sure to check the dip switches. So for this particular car, Mercedes AMG GT, the only switch that's supposed to be on is number 4. Everything else is off, and it will be the same for all the cars from 2016 to 2019. So we will rest the module here. It's also, at this point, you can screw back in these 2 bolts that hold the locks, because once you test everything, you're pretty much done with the installation. And the last thing you have to do is to drill the hole for the sound, and then put the center console back. In order to test everything, we're going to put the center console back. So we'll put it back in its position, and of course don't forget to do this one connection which we disconnected. Once you put it in, remember you have to slide it forward for these 2 clips. So make sure that they're lined up with the holes, and they're both in, and then now you can press it down. And before screwing this console back in place, we're just going to test everything on the screen to make sure the CarPlay and sound is all working. So we connected this lightning cable, which doesn't come with the kit. We're just using it for testing. So we'll connect it to the USB that we showed you how to run previously, to the armrest. And now we can test everything. So we will turn on the ignition. As you can see, CarPlay is already up, but we will test from the beginning. So first thing that you gotta do is choose media interface 1 or 2. This is where our USB to auxiliary adapter is plugged in, so we have it plugged into 1. The timer will be just rolling. Then you press and hold the back button here, or you can also do the one on the steering wheel in order to switch to the extra system which you didn't have before, which now shows CarPlay. And you just gotta test for sound. You can play any music. You can adjust the volume. So as you can hear, it's working. This scroll is working, so everything seems to be fine. And at this point you can disconnect your iPhone and turn off the ignition, and we're just going to finish up the installation. We will put back this panel and we'll clip it in. So you have to make sure that all the clips are lining up, and then it just clips in. Next we will reinstall these 2 bolts, the 2 T20s. And now you can also put back this cover for these 2 bolts. You have to make sure that it's right in the middle, and then you just push it in. So at this point the installation is complete. So we assembled everything and we paired our iPhone wirelessly through the settings. As you can see, it's not connected by the cable anymore. So now you can enjoy CarPlay in this Mercedes-Benz. So again, this was a video for GTA Car Kits in Mercedes-Benz AMG GT. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.